All right, welcome into Prop 5 on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at Ethan J. Skolnick on 5 Reasons Sports. I got David Eversole. You can follow him at David W. Eversole. Make sure that you download PrizePicks using the code 5. Free to download. Use the code 5. You put down $5. You get $50 to play right away. Legal in the state of Florida and many other states. I want to repeat that. Legal in the state of Florida. They came back with a new game. You got to play between 2 and 4 players together. You got to win the whole thing to get your money back, or win money. But a lot of our people have had success with it. Make sure you try it out today. PrizePicks.com. Again, use the code 5. Get 50 to play right away. All right, David and I are going to get to the 425 game here, which both of us are going to. Dolphins, 49ers, Dolphins season on the line, such as it is. Let's get through some of the Dolphin props. Weather's good today, and that's going to play into some of the things that I do here. But what is your favorite Dolphins prop?
Well, I mean, obviously, without the Waddle in the passing game, Tua's been spreading the ball around, and I know that Achan's kind of been the go-to in the passing game because the running game's been non-existent. Mm-hmm. I would play him down probably on this Goblin play to 3.5 receptions. I like that. And then Jason Sanders, probably get a couple long field goal attempts in this game. Like I said, the weather's nice. He's been really consistent except for extra points, long field goals. So I also like him over this 8.5 fantasy score. I mean, Tua, I'm a little kind of unsure of.
Well, I like the Sanders play. I do think he'll go over the 2 field goals. If you look recently, he's gone over that 4 of the last 5. Just the one game against Green Bay, where he only had 1. I think he missed 1 in that game, from what I remember. But honestly, I like a couple things here on the passing game side because the weather is good and because they know they can't run the ball. I'm gonna say Tua, 36 attempts. I know we had a discussion about that last week. He went over again.
He went over again, yeah.
So I don't see why he wouldn't. I mean, barring injury, in which case you might get a reboot, right?
Yeah, at this point they just can't run the ball or won't run the ball. They're so one-dimensional, and the passing game has become what we wouldn't think it would be, and that's predictable. So
right,
it's a lot of short passes. It's a lot of quick stuff. Jonnu Smith, I like. I know we both like Malik as well. Yeah, Tyreek. Who knows? You could get 9 catches. You could get 1 catch. I don't like his volatility.
Yeah, I don't think he's really playable right now. Honestly, I don't know what to expect from him. I kind of feel with him like I feel with Jimmy Butler at this stage. It's all over the place. I'm going to look at the Niners side here. George Kittle. We've talked about the tight ends against the Dolphins, but this is a high number though.
Very high, yeah.
66.5. He against Buffalo, he wasn't used. Against the Rams, 61. But he had 151 against Chicago in between.
Yeah.
Would you play him? Would you play him on anything?
I would bump it. I would take the Goblin play with him and mix it in, with some of the other stuff on the board. There's some pretty decent kicking demons around the NFL today. So if you want to offset some of these little bit safer plays, but I mean, longest reception, 23.5. Maybe you could do the combo with Jonnu here at 117, kind of hedge a little bit if Tua starts. But there's just so many variables in terms of the Dolphin, other than like Tua's just raw output of attempts.
Right. That's my. Yeah, I mean, basically that's it. He's going to throw the ball. Like that's really where they're at with it.
Kind of like Mostert in this game a little bit too.
I don't know.
It goes down on him.
Yeah.
I think they gotta do something different against the 49ers. They can't just keep doing the same thing. And obviously with the history there, maybe McDaniel gets in his bag a little bit. I mean, I want to see some kind of creativity today, like a trick play. Something, right. I mean, something to kind of just change the tone.
Now, can the Niners still they're sort of in the Dolphins position right now, right? Like they have like this outside shot to get in, but they need a ton of things to happen, right? That's pretty much where they're at.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just,
I don't like the Dolphins today, by the way. I don't. I think that I think this is one of those games against a team, even though they've been disappointing this year. They're more physical than the Dolphins, the 49ers. And I don't like the Dolphins against physical teams. This has been a consistent problem for them. Would you play Purdy? Would you play Samuel?
I would probably play Purdy.
Yeah.
Maybe you could take him over on the INTs. Maybe they get lucky, but I think Purdy will have a pretty
He's
decent
only
game in
got
this one.
two INTs in the last 5. I looked at that. That would be
Yeah, I mean the Dolphins don't really take the ball away,
right.
but I think he could get a couple touchdown passes in this game against the Dolphins secondary.
Mhm.
So but he's not one of my favorite plays. 20 completion seems kind of reasonable for him. Other than that, I don't really love the numbers on Purdy.
What do you what do you think of their other players here? I mean, Debo, probably going to see a lot of Ramsey, I would think today, right?
Come
So
on,
I
Jennings.
might say so. Yeah, maybe Jennings is the secondary receiver here.
Yeah, I would take a flyer on this demon with Moody at 1.5 field goals. Weather's beautiful out there. A
Yeah,
decent kicker. I could easily see him getting 2 field goals in this game.
yeah. The other thing, the thing I worry about with the field goals is that the McDaniel matchup against one of his mentors. I feel like both teams will get cute a little bit.
Maybe.
Uh,
They got to take
which
some points though on the road. 49ers, I would think.
yeah,
Dolphins
yeah.
are better
Well,
at home. Defense a little bit better at home.
they are. I'm with you on Juwan Jennings. I could see the 62.5 receiving yards looks pretty good to me there. Again, secondary receivers against the Dolphins because they don't really. I know Fuller's been okay this year, but I do feel like they can get him off. But I would look at Kittle, but I'm with you. I took Kittle on the safer play, the 3.5 receptions. I feel like
Yeah.
he's going to get
You
over
got to
that.
get a little value there
Mhm.
in those. You got to, the lines are a little tough on some of these skill guys. So,
Let's look at some of the rest of the board today for some of the early games and others. I'll tell you my favorite play today is Burrow over on yards.
yeah, he's
Cincy
going
again
to
still has this very unlikely, but you know they have a slim chance of making the playoffs, but they do have a chance. They've been opening up the offense more and more and more here. 76.5, been over that lately. I would play him over. Is there anything else that you see on the main board today for the early games today?
Well, I was looking at Demarcus Robinson for the Rams versus the Jets. I
Mm-hmm.
got him at 1.5 receptions, but it looks like actually they took that straight play off the board. But the 15.5 receiving yards I like on Demarcus Robinson. And then
Okay.
I was kind of stuck. I was still looking around the AFC East a little bit. I took Kendrick Bourne here over on the 1.5 receptions. They're going to have to throw the ball to have any kind of chance to remotely stay in the game against. I mean, the Buffalo offense has just been ridiculous. So New England's
Uh,
going to tuck the ball around today to
I,
have any
I
kind of shot.
I like that one. Let me go through a couple more here that are on the board. Some of their popular picks. We like to play. Take a look at these before the game starts. Say go over or under. Jamar Gibbs, no Montgomery today. I know he's trying to play before the end of the season.
Mm,
94.5 rush yards though
yeah,
against Chicago. I mean, yes, they're going to lean on him more. That seems high to me. Hasn't been over that in the last 5. I feel like they'll lean on him a little bit more in the passing game today. Again,
yeah.
Detroit
He's such a good
kind of
dual
controls.
threat.
He is. They kind of control their destiny right now. Again, Chicago's a team that they should beat easily. I know that's a high number for him.
Yeah,
But I like a couple of the other ones here. Bijan Robinson against the Giants at 89.5. He's been over on 4 of the last 5. 125 last week against Vegas, 92, 102. I'm going to play him today. And the other one that I was looking at here is Jordan Love, 230.5 passing yards against New Orleans on Monday night. I guess we'll get into more of that stuff over the weekend. Jordan Love's played well
yeah.
on national television. New Orleans does give up a lot of yardage. I would expect him to go over. So, and then the one other one, I guess we should debate this Sunday. Aaron Rodgers, 1.5 touchdown passes today, through 3 against Jacksonville last week. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean the Rams defense, obviously isn't so great. So the
Right.
pass defense, I mean, they tend to give up a lot of action. That doesn't kill me. I think that's a pretty decent, and it's a demon play. Sometimes you gotta look at it and just say, you're for the extra value, take a
Mm-hmm.
flyer on some of these, and maybe on another weekday you wouldn't. But I think you're getting decent value on the 1.5. He's played a lot better. I mean, you look, he carved up the Dolphins. I was there. I watched it.
Yep.
And, he's got a little bit progressively. Devontae Adams, I mean, he's really had a little bit of a resurgence here late in the season. I mean, he's just going to go out there and just put up numbers. I mean, it's all meaningless, but I mean, he's
It's
not going to go
meaningless.
out there. Yeah, he's going to compete.
Yeah, well, again, he hasn't made it clear whether or not he's going to be back for the Jets next season. They're playing out the string at this point. I think 1.5 passing touchdowns is reasonable against the Rams. I'd probably play as half an interception as well. All right, those are some of the plays that we like. Again, use the code 5. I threw the Sanders one and another one. I'm going to throw Malik Washington in another one. I feel like we didn't mention that, but Malik Washington, the Dolphins today with no Waddle, they're going to rely on him more. They want to see what their young guys have right now, and Malik's kind of been coming on game after game. He'll have more of a role in the offense this time. 2.5 receptions. You can see that one, the Goblin play.
1.5 yards on the straight play too.
I like the 29.5 yards. That's the one that I would play. All right, we'll be back with another show before Monday night. Check out the pregame show if you're just catching this before that. Louis Sung will be hosting around 3. I'll be at the stadium as well, so I'll have coverage from the stadium on the channel as the Dolphins try to keep their postseason chances live, but it's a very slim hope, as we've discussed. Have a good one, everybody.